Hello, boys and girls. It's Aunty Mimmi here. And today our book is from Winnie the Pooh. And it's called A New House for Eeyore. Sounds fun, doesn't it? So sit back, get comfortable, and let's begin. One day, Pooh Bear went round to Piglet's house to see what Piglet was doing. It was snowing, and he expected to find Piglet warming his toes in front of his fire. To Pooh's surprise, the door was open and Piglet wasn't there. "He's out," said Pooh sadly. "I shall have to go for a fast thinking walk by myself. Bother." But first he thought that he would knock very loudly just to make quite sure. While he waited, a hum came into his head, which seemed to him a good hum. "The more it snows, tiddly-pom, the more it goes, tiddly-pom. The more it goes, tiddly-pom, on snowing, and nobody knows, tiddly-pom. How cold my toes, tiddly-pom, how cold my toes, tiddly-pom, are growing." Pooh decided to go home and see what time it was before going to visit Eeyore and sing his song to him. His mind was so busy with the hum that when he got home and suddenly saw Piglet sitting in his best armchair, he could only stand there wondering whose house he was in. "Hello, Piglet," he said. He looked up at his clock, which had stopped at 5 minutes to 11 weeks ago. "Nearly 11 o'clock, said Pooh happily. "You're just in time for a little snackerel of something, and then we'll go out, Piglet, and sing my song to Eeyore." "Which song, Pooh?" "The one we're going to sing to Eeyore," explained Pooh. Half an hour later, they set out on their way. The snow fluttered around. Piglet was feeling more snowy behind the ears than he had ever felt before. "Pooh," he said a little timidly, because he didn't want Pooh to think he was giving in, "how would it be if I went home and practiced your song and then sang it to Eeyore tomorrow?" "That's a very good idea, Piglet," said Pooh. "We'll practice it now as we go along. But it's no good going home to practice it because it's our special outdoor song, which has to be sung in the snow." "Are you sure?" asked Piglet anxiously. "Well, you'll see, Piglet, because this is how it began. The more it snows, tiddly-pom." "Tiddly what?" said Piglet. "Pom," said Pooh. "The more it goes, tiddly-pom." "The more—" "Didn't you say snows?" "Yes, but that was before the tiddly-bomb. Pom. It was different, tiddly-pom," said Pooh, feeling rather muddled. "I'll sing it to you properly and then you'll see." So he sang it again. By this time they were getting near Eeyore's gloomy place. It was still very snowy, so they turned into a little pine wood and sat down on the gate which led into it. To keep themselves warm, they sang Pooh's song right through 6 times, Piglet doing the tiddly-poms and Pooh doing the rest of it. In a little while they felt much warmer and they were able to talk again. "I've been thinking about Eeyore," said Pooh. "Poor Eeyore has nowhere to live. We all have houses, but poor Eeyore has nothing. So let's build him a house." "Where shall we build it?" asked Piglet. "We'll build it here," said Pooh, "by this wood, out of the wind, because this is where I thought of it. We will call this Pooh Corner, and we will build Eeyore house with sticks for Eeyore." "There was a heap of sticks on the other side of the wood," said Piglet. "Thank you, Piglet," said Pooh, and off they went to fetch the sticks. Christopher Robin had spent the morning indoors and was just wondering what it was like outside when Eeyore knocked on the door. "How are you, Eeyore?" said Christopher Robin. "It's snowing still," said Eeyore gloomily, "and freezing. However," he said brightening up a little, "we haven't had an earthquake lately." "What's the matter, Eeyore?" "Nothing, Christopher Robin. Nothing important. I suppose you haven't seen a house anywhere about?" "Who lives there?" "I do. At least I thought I did. After all, we can't all have houses." "But Eeyore, I didn't know. I don't know how it is, Christopher Robin," Eeyore interrupted. "But what with all this snow and one thing and another, it isn't so hot in my field about 3 o'clock in the morning." "Quite between ourselves, and don't tell anyone, it's cold. Oh, Eeyore." "And I said to myself, the others will be sorry if I'm getting myself all cold." "Oh, Eeyore," said Christopher Robin, feeling very sorry already. "So what it all comes down to is that I built myself a house down by my little wood. How exciting!" "The really exciting part," said Eeyore sadly, "is that when I left it this morning it was there, and when I came back it wasn't." "We'll go and look for it at once," Christopher Robin said to Eeyore, and off they hurried. Soon they got to where Eeyore's house wasn't any longer. "There," said Eeyore, "not a stick of it left." But Christopher Robin wasn't listening to Eeyore. He was listening to something else. "Can you hear it?" he asked. They both listened, and they heard a deep, gruff voice saying in a singing voice that the more it snowed, the more it went on snowing, and a small, high voice tiddly-pomming in between. "It's Pooh," said Christopher Robin excitedly, "and Piglet." "Probably," said Eeyore. The words of the song changed suddenly. "We've finished our house," sang the gruff voice. "Tiddly-pom," sang the squeaky one. "Pooh!" shouted Christopher Robin. The singer stopped suddenly. "It's Christopher Robin," said Pooh eagerly. "He's round by the place where we got all the sticks from," said Piglet. They hurried round the corner of the wood. "Why, here is Eeyore," said Pooh, when he had hugged Christopher Robin. "Hello, Eeyore." "Same to you, Pooh Bear, and twice on Thursdays," said Eeyore gloomily. Before Pooh could say why Thursdays, Christopher Robin began to explain the sad story of Eeyore's lost house, and Pooh and Piglet listened, and their eyes seemed to get bigger and bigger. "Where did you say it was?" asked Pooh. "Just here," said Eeyore. "Made of sticks." "Yes." "Oh," said Piglet. "You're sure it was a house?" said Pooh. "And you're sure it was here?" "Of course I am," said Eeyore. "Why, what's the matter, Pooh?" asked Christopher Robin. "Well," said Pooh, "the fact is," said Pooh, "it's like this," said Pooh, and something seemed to tell him that he wasn't explaining very well, and he nudged Piglet. It's like this, said Piglet quickly, only warmer, he added after deep thought. What's warmer? The other side of the wood where Eeyore's house is. My house? Said Eeyore. My house was here. No, said Piglet firmly, the other side of the wood. Because of being warmer, said Pooh. They came round the corner, and there was Eeyore's house, looking as comfy as anything. There you are, said Piglet. Eeyore went inside and came out again. It's a remarkable thing, he said. It is my house, so the wind must have blown it here. Here it is as good as ever, in fact, better in places. Much better, said Pooh and Piglet together. It just shows what can be done by taking a little trouble, said Eeyore. Do you see? Brains first and then hard work. That's the way to build a house, said Eeyore proudly. So they left him to it, and Christopher Robin went back to lunch with his friends, Pooh and Piglet. And on the way, they told him of the awful mistake they had made. When he had finished laughing, they all sang the outdoor song for snowy weather the rest of the way home, and Piglet putting in the tiddly-poms again. Well, that was a fun little book, wasn't it, boys and girls? I'm so happy that a little Eeyore got a house in the end. He will have been very cold in the snow. Well, as always, I want you to look after one another, be kind to one another, and try and have some fun every single day. Until next time, bye-bye.